Live. Cool. What's up?
What's going on?
I always feel bad when it's like the people that might watch this will be like, "Oh, y'all haven't talked ever." And it's like, "No, we talked like 3 hours ago. It's fine." But
Right.
like,
Like, do you know this person? Have you met them before?
yeah. But for the people who I guess are going to catch this later or who might be meeting you for the first time, um I will let you do an introduction of yourself, and then from there we'll kind of talk about what we're trying to do for the next couple hours.
For sure, for sure. I'll keep it brief. Brief. I currently work as a developer educator at LaunchDarkly, but I've been in the observability infrastructure DevOps space for a minute now. I worked as a DevOps engineer, and from a project that I was working on there, I kind of got an interest to be able to talk about things as I build them, and that's how I got into developer education. And I've been in developer education for since 2022, so. It's been a few years.
I love it. And for those that don't know, the person talking is Alexis. Is it Robertson or Roberson?
Roberson.
Roberson.
But
Okay.
yeah, I guess I should start with my name. Yes, my name is Alexis. I'm based in Dallas, Dallas, Texas. Fun fact, when I was in college, I used to introduce myself as Alexis from Texas. And so my professors used to refer to me as that.
Shouldn't do that
But yeah,
now.
so
That's got some. There's some side effects on that one. Yeah. So for those who have been kind of keeping up with my live streaming lately, I've been doing this new YouTube series called Elephant in the Room over on the Ivan channel. And a big part of that is we're building stuff out here. Like we're not gonna just sit here and talk about features with no blind reaction or give you like a lot of people like to say the pre-baked pie. Give you like here's a full product that we built and here's why you should just trust that we know exactly what we're talking about. Um, Elephant in the Room is quite the opposite. It's actually meant to be we're going to show you the thing that we made, but more than anything, we're going to talk about some of the frustrations, especially when it comes to working with databases. And we're gonna share all of this content to be like, hey, look, here's how we built this. Here's the frustration that went into building this, but most importantly, here are all the things that we learned. And in that process, I think you and I have, at least up to this point, we've kind of got a brief idea of what we're going to be building. And we've seen like kind of a proof of concept, but at the same time, I think we're going to just run with it and see what happens.
yeah, I think it's a good idea. I know that when we were brainstorming, we had different ideas and we kind of settled on multi regions. And I think it's important because you get a chance to see like the database piece, but you ought to also get a chance to see how feature flags work and the value that you see within like the final dashboard.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about it too is that we this is equal parts learning about Postgres and learning a little bit about LaunchDarkly. Which
Yeah.
shout out to LaunchDarkly. Like some people don't know this, LaunchDarkly was the first company that I like ever wanted to be a developer advocate for. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
so I I was at a conference called North Bay Python. This is
Mm,
like in 2018, I think. And yeah, it was 2018 because it was their first year that they did stuff. Might have been 2017. But
okay.
one of the folks from Launch Darkly, who was at Launch Darkly at the time, her name was Heidi Waterhouse, gave a talk
Mm,
on documentation. And I was like, "Oh, this is dope." And I had questions because I was still relatively I was newish to Python,
mm,
but I was trying to learn how to do things the right way. So I was like, "Hey, I would love to talk more about this." And then she also mentioned that they were like hiring, and they're like, "Well, if you can move to Oakland, because at the time they were based out of Oakland, they're like, if you can move to Oakland, then like you like we could interview you for a role as a developer advocate." And I was like, "Well, there's two
mm.
problems. I don't know what a developer advocate is, and also I live in San Diego at the time, so I'm not giving that up for Oakland. Sorry." So yeah, I learned what a developer advocate was that day, and I was like, dang, well one day LaunchDarkly will allow me to work remotely, and I'll go work for them then. But yeah, that's the long story. I have a long history with just kind of seeing things happen at LaunchDarkly from the sidelines, and being like,
Yeah.
oh man, I wonder what they're doing. So you're the first person that I've gotten to work with, specifically on LaunchDarkly things on a live stream. So no pressure, no pressure. But I think this will determine whether or not I apply to an open role in the future. So
Oh wow, that's actually you said no pressure, and then you just added a lot of pressure onto that. So we'll see. Well, hopefully this works out.
no, I think it'll
Yeah,
be fine.
that's really cool. That's really cool. And yeah, it's definitely a big difference between San Diego and San Francisco. Like it's,
Yeah.
as far as like what 6 hour difference to go from
Oh yeah.
commute.
The drive is way too long. But
Yeah.
also just like San Diego, in my opinion, is in terms of like the beauty of a place is like the most beautiful place to live in like
Mm.
America. So
Oh wow.
it'd be tough to and I gave that up and moved to Atlanta. So like uh
Right. I was just about to say you're in a different city now.
it is.
So,
Yeah, yeah, but
maybe you make your way back there. But we're remote,
I
now,
know
so
now things have
there's
changed.
the option.
Yeah. So let's dive into this.
Yes.
And what we're going to be building is, if I remember correctly, basically we're going to be using LaunchDarkly's feature flags to kind of interrupt and reroute where our connections are going across multiple databases.
Yep. So we have different regions and we have assigned different feature flags, our feature flag for each region, and you're able to toggle sort of like those on and off, and that will determine whether or not, like you can toggle all of them on or one or two or whatever, and that will redirect traffic to the others.
Yeah. And I guess kind of the big point in this, and then no more stalling, and we'll just jump into it. Is when we were trying to talk about this as like a realistic feature set, and I think at one point I was like asking about things that would be like, is this like a load balancer? And it's like, no, this is not meant to replace like your load balancer. But I do think that there is some use in this of like, hey, imagine if you were a DBA or you were, an SRE or doing some DevOps stuff, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you have a bunch of users who are currently interacting with one database, and you for some reason need to shut that database down temporarily. Maybe it's got
Mhm.
updates, maybe there's maintenance windows, whatever it is. How could you do this in a way that you don't interrupt service across, a large region? So maybe that's, taking something down, putting something up, and then rerouting people in a direction, and then doing that all from like a web platform instead of from, let me write some code or do some Kubernetes stuff.
Mhm.
I think that to me was the kind of the initial idea, just as, hey, like we're putting the hands of what connections are established directly into LaunchDarkly and then going from there.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting take, especially when it comes to feature flags, because, typically they're used as, you know, the SRE DevOps person back in who are determining this based on the metrics that they're getting back. And the end user just know, hey, I have this feature available. And maybe I'm having some problem with it, some problems with it. And then now I don't see this feature anymore. And I think that when it comes to feature flags, um, it's about making sure that that feature is not causing any problems within the infrastructure. And so I guess this was my first time really looking at them from a different angle, in the sense where they can be controlled by the end user in a sense, because you have it where they can toggle different regions on and off, and then that is sort of causing a reaction within the back end. So yeah, I think it was a really good conversation because it allowed for me to sort of see it from two different standpoints.
Yeah, that actually is a good point, in that like LaunchDarkly itself as a service has its own like platform that you could be using to make some of these decisions. But what we've done is we've actually like wrapped that in the LaunchDarkly SDK and said, all right, now end user, you have the ability to make these decisions. Now, obviously, the end user in like this example would be an SRE that may not have like direct access to the LaunchDarkly platform, or maybe this is a segment of a larger uh, interface that they use to manage all of their stuff. So instead
Yeah.
of having to go to like LaunchDarkly here and then go, load up some other service or see charts
Mhm.
in like a Grafana or something like that. All of those resources are kind of brought into one place so that you have a centralized spot to do all of that management.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely gives behind the scenes it definitely makes it seem like you're bringing that to the forefront. And it also puts it in the mindset of like an internal sort of troubleshooting tool, that's kind of used by internal teams. But also too, it's not you also don't want to like reinvent the wheel and things like that. But I think the point of this project was to really just showcase what's possible.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into it.
Okay.
I know we've got you have like a dual like AI coding setup that I haven't seen a lot of people do. Like I think you use Cursor, but then you also use Claude and Claude Code, which I mean
Yeah.
everybody knows on my channel Claude Code is the winner. Like that's just what we
Every
do
time.
every
Every
time.
time. I mean, even when you talk about like a chat GPT, because I've had a chance to sort of use different ones. And I like chat GPT when it comes to like understanding, like getting feedback on ideas that I have. Like, hey, I have this idea, how can I sort of like refine this and sort of, make it a little bit better? And it's also good for generating like graphics or, I want to turn this into some type of visual with Claude. When it comes to coding, like that's what I choose. And so I like to work together using that along with Cursor. And so before like we sort of jump into the code, I do want to show how it actually works in the front end, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, localhost 8,000. Okay. So this is essentially the multi-region dashboard. You have these three different regions. You also have different other features like health checks, load testing, and the ability to to determine or to see the refresh seconds. And you can disable all of these features using these buttons. So like if I wanted to, so right now all of the regions are up and running, so I can test that connection. I can see the different health metrics for that region, and I can also load test. And I'm able to sort of get some information from that. So this kind of creates this little like observability dashboard for my different regions. Now, if I were to toggle this off and I try to test the connection again, then it will tell me like, hey, like this feature flag is disabled. And then also too, if I did the same thing here, so I maybe toggle this one back on and I test the connection. So now I'm seeing that I'm not getting data from those. Um, and then I can hit refresh all and I'm able to see, okay, if these are toggled off, then that means that here it's going to recommend that I use US East because that's the one that's only on. So that's essentially how it works in the front end. And I want to kind of jump into the code and then also just kind of understanding, how I went about building this. So initially, we talked about how we wanted to build. I knew that we wanted to build this using Fast API and HTMX just to make it a little bit more streamlined and not have to like add any other like special dependencies.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I did was, I guess I can go to Claude. Let me see. Is it up here? Yes. Okay. So the first thing that I did is, let me scroll up here. Okay, so the first thing I did was just kind of like talking about setting up the prompt and using the documents that we create or that you created to be able to talk about what we're trying to build, what technologies we want to use. And I think this is really helpful too when you're prompting Claude. You want to make sure that you're being try to be as specific as possible. And then what you're going to learn, a mistake that I made towards this part, I'll show. But as I sort of decided which one we were going to go with. So deciding, hey, we're going to go with multi-region Postgres dashboard, and how can we build that? So here I was like, hey, can you show a demo? And so it started to develop it, but because I've written a lot of code in React Native, React, so far it automatically assumed, okay, you want this app to be in React. And I was like, No, we want it in like fast API and HMX. So this is where I corrected it. Let me see here. And once I did that, it not only gave a project structure and like a quick start, and like that's helpful and kind of explained, how to run in demo mode, and then also how to run it like in like with the actual LaunchDarkly and Ivan back end. And then when I looked to see, okay, where's the actual code? It was supposed to be like a zip file. And I think that I gave it too much to do at one time. And that's why I was like, hey, you actually have to break these things up. And that's where when I realized that, I said, okay, before I got to this other window that you're able to see is cursor, where let me kind of make this bigger. Okay. Where you're able to see cursor. And the first thing that I did was the file structure within cursor. And what's really great about cursor is that it didn't have any, like, I didn't give it any other like context. I just said, hey, can you create these file directories? I thought maybe they were going to make it like empty files, but it was like they actually added like added boilerplate code within it. And I thought that was really helpful. And it also already assumed that, okay, like this is going to be some type of, front end, application, whatever the case may be. So once it did that, I was able to then go back to Claude, which is here. So I went back to Claude once I had the file structure, and I said, hey, can you rewrite the app in this language? And then can you walk me through it step by step? So before, we didn't get any code generated. And now I'm able to see, okay, for specifically the requirements.txt file, it is loading, but you'll be able to see the dependencies that I have. So, for instance, Fast API, Python.m, LaunchDarkly SDK. So I just simply copied over each of these files, and it's probably, I don't know how many files it was, but in each of these files. So, for instance, let me see the config file, which is going to set up my different regions. Feature flags, this is going to be the bulk of the LaunchDarkly integration. The database, where it's setting up, it's able to set up the Postgres database, and the connection using Ivan or through Ivan backend. And so yeah, so I was able to simply just copy each of these like over to my cursor application. And then when I ran my cursor application, when I ran this within cursor, the first thing that came up was I was getting some dependency issues. So they needed to be like updated. And I saw that within the error that I got. So I was able to fix those. And then I went to the terminal and I just typed in, because I also have Claude Code um, within my terminal. And so once I went to Claude and I ran the command to be able to run the application. And once I got back errors, it automatically went into, fixing mode. So that allowed me to get to a working integration. And then I went back in, let me see. And then I went back into Claude and was able to just kind of like make some changes to, hey, like how can I run this within Ivan? And that's where I was able to set up LaunchDarkly and the Ivan regions. And so that's kind of like where, if you want me to continue talking, but that's kind of like the process that I went through, using both back and forth between Cursor and Claude to just kind of check the work and make sure that I was getting the expected responses. Oh, I can't hear you.
How about now?
Oh, there we go. There we go. We're
Yeah,
good.
I don't know what was going on. It was funny because it's like my streaming software said that like everything was muted, so I was like, "Oh God, don't tell me we just like talked for like 15 minutes and everything was muted." But
Oh
then I went
no.
back and everything was fine.
Okay.
But then I like hit the button, and then like as soon as I hit the button, it was like you can't hear me, and I was like, all right, now I must have messed something up. But I think
Okay.
we're good. I think we're
Okay.
good.
Hopefully we're good. I'm like, oh man, I don't have any food around to stress eat.
I'm gonna cut my mic up just a little bit because I noticed when it was
Okay.
playing, I was like very very inaudible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really I liked all of this, and I like kind of the way that you went about structuring it. I think we hear a lot about like vibe coding, and like vibe coding is like this whole thing. It was like just roll with it and see what happens. This is not that. It's very like structured, planned development that went into it. And even though like AI was being used the entire time,
Yep.
it felt like the decisions weren't left to AI just to make. It was very much like we knew we wanted fast API. We knew we wanted
Yep.
HTMX. We knew like why we wanted those things.
Yep.
Um, and then, but on top of that, like everything else was like we wanted to make sure that even as we were picking out and trying to choose a project, it was like, well, what do these ideas showcase and feature? And I think that was kind of cool of seeing how, based on that, based on all the knowledge that we knew that we wanted to bring into this, it made a decision and was like, cool, let's just run with it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then also like just the moving things between like, I guess, playing to the skills of the application.
Yeah.
I use Claude Code mostly, and then sometimes I will use Claude Code inside of NeoVim because I'm a text-based CLI person normally.
Mm.
And like
Gotcha.
if I'm building stuff out, I want to use NeoVim because I want to see what it's writing. And that's the
Mm.
thing that we learned a little bit in the last streams. But then even that, it's like I recognize that Claude likes to do the most sometimes. And
Oh, seriously. Yeah, it's definitely it's giving Todd, but you have to coach it a little bit.
yeah. So yeah, so at this point we've got like a rough draft, but we said we're gonna build this kind of from the jump just to kind of get our bearings about us. So let's jump into that and see what that would look like from I guess from the two initial steps that we know that we have to do, which is making sure that we have our LaunchDarkly account figured out, and then we have the Ivan stuff figured out.
Yes. So we can take two different approaches. So we have the code and we can like I can create the feature flags all over again, and you can create the Ivan region that we can then integrate within the M file for the project, or we can like generate everything all over again and just kind of like see how this is actually built out and how we work through like different, what do you want to do with that?
We got like an hour and a half, so let's start from nothing and see how far we get.
Okay,
And
that
maybe
sounds good.
maybe we can make decisions. We can make some alternate decisions as we're developing, kind of through that.
Okay. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to pull up the initial document that you sent. Actually, I think it's let me see.
By the way, this initial document was generated 90% with AI, so like it was very much like I got a plan. The plan kind of looks like this. Can you make this sound smarter than I can make it right now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and see again, that's what did you use ChatGPT for that or did you use Claude?
I use Claude for everything. I'll use Gemini for like if I'm working in Google Docs because we have access to Gemini, then I'll use
Hmm.
Gemini directly in there. But in terms of like me just thinking about how do I do thing, it's
Yeah.
usually through Claude, and then I'll let Claude just do what it does, and then from there I took it over to Gemini and I was like, okay, now make this like an actual doc. Like take all these
Yeah.
ideas and do something with them.
You know what I like Gemini for? Because I've used different versions and tweaked it. I like Gemini when I'm like trying to develop like videos and things like that. But I know that
Mm,
there's other things out. So if I created, let's say I wanted to create like B-roll footage, I've done that once for a video, and it actually came out decent. Like I needed to prompt it a little bit more to just kind of tweak it and get to where I needed it to be. But like for the most part, it was pretty good.
yeah. Okay,
Okay,
so we
let me.
got.
I'm looking for
I
the
could
doc
probably
that
send
you
you the link
sent.
to it as well if I need to.
Yeah, send me, drop the link because I am not seeing it here. You know what? Let me go here and pull it up.
Where are we at? There we go. I'll put it in the Zoom chat for you.
Got you. Yes. Okay. And I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger because I probably need glasses, but I refuse to wear them. So this was so what I think what made it really golden for using it within Claude is the fact that we have the system architecture. So, hey, like this is how we want it to use, this is how we want it to operate. I'm trying to think.
Can you zoom in
Yeah.
on that image a little bit? Will it let you?
Here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to pause and say you have no idea how long it took to get Claude to accurately. It still didn't do it perfectly, but to at least
Yeah,
close
yeah.
enough like generate this image. It was stuff was all over the place, and luckily like I know enough mermaid to be dangerous. So I was like I can take some of this and make sense of it, but my
Yeah.
goodness, like especially when you're talking about like technical documentation versus like conceptual documentation, because I was like I don't know who's gonna have to read this, like how technical they are, like so there were a lot of moving pieces and saying like this isn't written correctly, can you fix this? And yeah, AI and mermaid are not there's a lot of work to be done there.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I've never used Mermaid, like period, but also I haven't used it with AI, so that's something to keep in mind. So as you can see, like, and I'll zoom out just a little bit. So we have the client layer that's being able to see like, hey, what is the user seeing? And that's written in HTMX and Fast API. And then the external services would be launch darkly feature flags, um, on this end, and then on the other end would be using Ivan for the database layer, and the different routes um, for the different regions. So that was, it was pretty straightforward. Is it perfect? No. It's the ways to kind of make it a little bit more clear, but I think this was really good for it to be generated by AI in a sense. Um, so yeah, so this was kind of the goal, and then the final product is this interactive dashboard. It allows you to quickly test performance for different regions, checking latency. And as we looked at the initial UI, where we saw the latency, we saw the different performance metrics. We now one of the things that did it show the regions by distance? I think it did.
I
I think
don't
it did.
I think it just gives you like it'll give you like how much that latency is, but I don't think it gives you the actual distance. That was one of the things that I wanted to add was like
That's
I
something we can add.
yeah, I think that there's like this world of visualizing. It's easy to look at three columns and be like these are all three columns. But
Mhm.
looking at them from a perspective of like okay, no, one of these columns is in like Singapore. So
Yeah,
like actually finding a way to make that distance very um, acknowledgeable.
yeah. Another thing I want to highlight is so for Postgres, also enabling the PG bouncer. Can you like talk a little bit more about like what this, I mean, I know that it does the pooling, but kind of like the benefit or like what this does.
So I'm gonna get AI to keep me correct here.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing that I've always noticed with connection pooling is that there are anytime like a user logs into a service and then that service
Mhm.
has to establish a connection with the database and does a thing. Usually your database has a limited number of like active things that can be happening at one time. And
Mhm.
we call that like the connection limit. And usually with some of these smaller or cheaper layers of like Postgres, especially like if you're running your own, you don't want hundreds of services, talking directly to the server at one time.
Mm.
That can add a bunch of bloat. So what sets up is like PG Bouncer is like this connection pooling service that one, it is managing all of the active connections. A part of that is it's seeing like, all right, who's stale, so they can like boot those people out. It gets all of those connections, and like AI is telling me stuff that I did not think about. It's like, oh, it also does things like pre-creating connections, which makes those connections go faster once you connect to them. So, and then from there, it can reuse existing connections. So you could have 1,000 people talking to PG Bouncer, and then from there, PG Bouncer is like managing the 100 connections to the database across those thousands of people. And it's like, oh, this comes in, it goes in here. This comes in, goes here. Oh, this one stopped talking, so we can terminate it. And it's just managing that setup to be more efficient. And that's something that like within Ivan, it's built in. So like you don't have to do anything with it. Like you just start connecting, and then things start working.
Yeah, and we'll see the behind the scenes of like setting up LaunchDarkly and also setting up the Ivan instances. But yeah, no, like I said, this was a really good document to start with. Getting even into the weeds of like the live stream. And so what I did was, and I think I downloaded this, but what I did was, so for instance, let's go to Claude. Let's go back to Claude. Let's open a new chat. And let's see if we actually get the same result. I'm curious to see how this works. Okay, so prompt it to say, let's say here's a document about an internal, let's not say internal, about a dashboard.
This to me is the hardest part about using AI is I would be like, drop file in, hey, build out this architecture. Like this is it.
Well, see, here's the thing. I like to, because I feel like if it comes back and it doesn't have exactly what I want, I'm gonna be like, okay, wait a minute. Let me, so I try to add a little bit more details to start off with to give it context, because if not, I feel like it kind of goes and does its own thing in a sense. HTML and fast API dashboard, where multiple region be toggled darkly feature flags. And then I am going to then paste or attach the file. It should be under multi, might be in documents or downloads, probably downloads.
I gotta be searching for stuff, otherwise I'm never finding it. There it is. I see it. Multi-region.
Okay. Perfecto. Okay, let's see. Create the files. You know what? Let me just do, I'll say create the files one by one. Actually, I'm curious what type of structure it will come up with. So, first start off with creating the file structure before the next step. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, so I'll create the file structure.
I'm new to use HTMX fast API. That's dope. And by the way, for those that, I mean, most people that know me think of me probably as like, oh, aren't you using Django for this? Specifically for these routes, we want to delay the database setup until like you're on that page so that we can change it. So that way it can change every time. Normally you probably wouldn't want to do that, but this is like, that's the whole purpose of this. So with Django, you would like set up a bunch of that stuff, or like all of the features of Django would have you setting that stuff up earlier in the process and managing it all through Django's like management, which just wasn't really like, didn't really tuned to what we were doing. It's probably, and like Flask would have been a good option as well, but Fast API was just kind of an easy one to go with.
Yep. And it's still okay. So we have some project. So it looks like it's creating.
It's like I see a bunch of files. I see
Right.
like 5 steps.
So
It's talked about like 5 or 6 files.
yeah. So I guess it went ahead and started creating it, which I don't mind it doing. Because at first I wanted to make sure that it doesn't create it without actually having like the right file structure. But if we look at the file structure, let me
See
see
like
where is
test
it?
packages and stuff in there as well.
Let me see. Okay. Should be here.
And see, this is where like I probably would have done this through Claude Code, just because
Hmm.
I would have been able to see it making each of these files.
Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely see that.
You can
I think the
still.
goal too was, I mean, actually you can upload attachments like
Hmm.
files, Claude Code. So actually, yeah, this is good practice because I'm like next time I can just go straight into Claude Code. I think the first time I did it too, I was kind of trying to understand which idea we wanted to go with. And so seeing that
Yeah.
comparison I think was helpful. So,
Up.
but it looks like it's creating all the same files. The only thing is I don't remember seeing a queries. .py file. I wonder
Mm-mm.
what it what it's abstracting. Yeah, I'm going to.
That is definitely the other thing that Claude likes to do. Claude will sit there and be like, I need to create a wrapper, and then I need to create a wrapper for that wrapper.
Yeah,
Like it. Sometimes
it's
it's doing a
literally
lot.
abstracting. Yeah, it's literally abstracting everything.
I wrote a blog post. What was that, a few weeks ago about like
Mhm.
vibe coding like all these features into a project, and when I looked at the end result, it was like I can't follow this code. It's so abstracted, and I've been recently over the last like over the Thanksgiving weekend
Mhm.
I was like, all right, we gotta like reduce the amount of work that this is doing right now because
Yeah,
it did more than it needed to.
yeah, and that's why it's important too to set up guardrails within Claude just to make sure that it's how can I say this, that it's optimal. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it can just kind of do the most.
Well,
All right, so
I think that there's
oh,
like a this is where like having a solid like Claude.md file, having good instruction sets, and like all of those things are really strong because you can just be like, hey, I like to write code like this. I like to not abstract stuff if I can help it. But from there it's just doing a lot. Config and region definitions. Okay, we're gonna need to find. Did it where did it save everything, or is it just in a zip file?
so as you can see, it says that it's in a zip file, but um, as you can see,
There's
like
nothing in that
nothing's
zip
like
file.
saved there. So what typically happens is, and so here's a 23 steps. So it has all the different files that you can just copy over. So you know what? Actually, I'm curious to see how it would look if we switch over to Cloud Code. So I'm going to do that. But first, I'm going to see, is it necessary to abstract out the query file? I just want to see what it says. Yeah.
It's like anybody can explain something out to make it make sense, but like at the same time, because I will like if I'm writing fast API and I'm doing
Mhm.
if I have commands, I will probably consolidate commands into their own separate file. That way, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
if I'm do all my stat statements and stuff. So like queries.py to me was like, it was like, oh, you added that. That's interesting. But also like, I could see myself doing that as well.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there are probably like 15 other files in there that I'm like, why do we have this?
Right. It's like it's a bunch of extra files. So while that is going, I actually want to test this out within Cloud Code.
Are you in
Okay.
a new repo or the existing one?
I'm in the existing, so I have to create a new one.
Uh-oh. Got one with dashes, one with underscores.
Oh, I just noticed that.
I would that would mess me up so much because I would just be like, oh yeah, I'm in the right one, and then absolutely go to the wrong one.
I literally just I'll like add or change one or two words and keep it at that. And I typically remember it. I don't know how, but it just happened that way. Okay. Oh, see. See what you're saying there. Um, what- did I misspell something?
uh, I think you gotta CD again. Yeah, no, that's in there.
It's in there. Why is it not? Okay.
Just
There we
yeah, you gotta double tab.
But I'm literally okay.
Oh, you called it live demo. That's what it was.
Oh, got it. All right, there we go. All right. So we are in this new one here, and then also I want to I'm trying to think
You could probably give it, huh?
because I'm also thinking about I do want to add the document
Yeah,
here.
you could add the
Mhm.
document. I would just say like copy the document over and then reference it.
Yeah. All right. I think it's in downloads.
Was it multi something? I don't see it in there. Or was it in documents?
Um,
Yeah, there it is.
mhm. Okay.
Also, hand clap for the terminal usage. I love, like, I'm telling you, like, so many people now are just like, oh no, terminal screen, I'm afraid. Nah, the terminal is your friend.
It is. I've gotten used to it over the years.
We got to get you into like a like pimped out one though, because just using the base terminal, like,
Yeah.
we got
I've used this one for the longest. I'm like, it's probably time for me to
or even just something on it like there's like oh my posh, there's Starship is the one that like I think that's the one that I've been using now for a while. um that gives you a little bit of color, but at least like iTerm 2 is solid. Everybody loves Warp is like the one that's just got like it's got all the stuff on it right now.
Mhm.
um but then you also got like what was it, I use Ghosty, but there's also like
Mhm.
there's so many of these. Um, you know that you can use the @ sign to specifically point to the file, right?
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
How do I do it?
When you go, it says it where it has like, can I use the multi-region dashboard doc X? Just
Uh-huh.
change that just to like @ and then start typing it in, and then it'll pull up a prompt that you can then go in and set it.
Okay. So let me delete this.
Yeah. That way, it'll just save the step of like, let me look and see what files are
No.
available. So yeah, just hit tab, or maybe yeah, there you go, and then that'll. I don't
Perfect.
understand why it.
Okay. This director project. It-
Oh, Jabari in the chat is saying if you're jumping between OSs, West Term is the one that he likes to use.
West term. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna write that down.
I used West Term for a long time actually. I used West Term. I think it was like all of last year. We
Hmm.
got some people that have joined. Chris Devcode, what's up, Chris? Jabari already jumped in. Chris, are we supposed to be doing a thing? Were we doing a thing? Let's figure out what that is. Shout out to Chris out in Kenya doing stuff.
Okay, let's see.
It's
It
like
looks like we're cooking with something. Looks like we're cooking with grease. What
yeah,
we like to say here in at least Texas. I don't know if y'all say that
they
in.
say cooking with gas.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's a little bit more explosive. I don't know. I don't know
we're
how that
cooking
would
with gas.
end. I'm not
I
sure if
love how we've got like the tour. Shout out to Jeff. Jeff was our guest for the first series. Jeff's in the chat.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, and Jeff is in Kansas City, the other barbecue haven. I feel like this is really an excuse for me to just go travel to all these places and try their food. That's really what we
Yeah.
need to do.
Have you ever went to Chicago for a food tour?
I haven't gone specifically for a food tour, but I was just in Chicago 2 weeks ago. So
That's that's on my bucket list. I need to go to Chicago for a food tour. But because I know that the locals, they don't like, people coming in like to their like, to their regular spots. So I have to do a good job and like trying to find like the good places that's
Mike
kind of off of the tourist path.
Mike is saying I've been neglecting Twitch chat. Sir, I have not seen any chats from Twitch chat, so
Oh wow.
it wasn't intentional neglect. I'm just here so I don't get fined. you know, that's what Marshawn said. Don't yell at me for missing stuff. If the service doesn't show it to me, I can't react to it.
Yep. So far we have let me see. We have a few files that was created. We have the config file that has the different region definitions. We have our database file with our Postgres setup. And then let me see. We have our queries file. So
It
it went
added a
ahead and
queries file again.
it added a query. I'm like, you know what? If we'll see if it works. And if it works, that's all that matters. Okay.
you know,
But consolidate later if like that, if need be.
how does that look as far as the LaunchDarkly SDK? You have the client, a context, and a config. Is that tracking?
Um, yes. So with the LaunchDarkly client, we typically add like a user context, and that can be
Okay,
different things. It can be like, user, it can be user, it can be device type, different things like that. So we typically add a context.
gotcha.
Yeah. Um, and then okay, I see that it's adding LaunchDarkly SDK key from configs. That's fine. It will just load that, initializing the client. Okay. We have the fast API stuff happening. Okay, so it's not new to this. It's true to this. We're gonna see and adding in the endpoints here.
This
You know
is
what'd be really cool?
what's that?
Like I really feel like and maybe I just need to sort of pimp out my or like make I don't know if you used to watch that show like Pimp My Ride, but like make sure like this interface looks a little bit better with Cloud Code. But if there was like a visual to show like each file, like what it's creating, how it's sort of adding to. So you
Mm.
know like that architecture graph that we looked at, from the doc. What if like that was like integrated within, what it's creating? I'm just kind of throwing things out there, but
So I'm really interested to see if they will develop their own like IDE that's not just a clone of VS Code.
yeah.
um, but also I this was a trick that Jeff showed me. To the
Okay.
easiest way that he seemed to do it is to load like the GitHub like app, or he uses
Mhm.
Tower, but using like a Git client and like just looking at it, make those changes in the Git client. That way you can use it. I use a tool called Dolphin, or not
Okay.
Dolphin, Delta. I keep wanting to call it Dolphin, but Delta.
Okay.
And from there I can just go and like just have it up next to it, like have my prompt window on one side and then have like another terminal window, and then I'm just like, Delta, show me the changes, or show me the changes in this file.
Mm.
um and that's more just like Git, just using Git stuff. But yeah. Jeff Jeff says, life's too short not to have a nice Git GUI to see your stages.
We got to make that phrase a little bit shorter so it could be a t-shirt.
Yeah, life's too short not to look, or not, life's too short for a Git GUI, or life's too short to not have a Git GUI.
Something like that. Something like we got to work on it. We got to work on it.
Health results. Okay, so this is where we start doing a bunch of Tailwind. I see. We decided. I wonder what would happen if you told it to just like don't use Tailwind. Like
I could,
I
I
mean,
could tell, I could once it's ready, I can like rewrite it to say, hey, instead of using Tailwind, which other sort of like framework could we use?
yeah. I always love this like immediate Tailwind flex, and like for those that don't know, there are other CSS wrappers than just Tailwind. Bootstrap is still very much alive and
Oh
well.
yeah, Bootstrap.
Bootstrap gets updates too. Bootstrap is still
Yeah.
updated and still maintained. I use Pico CSS for, like, if I really just don't want to be bothered with CSS. To me, Pico
Mhm.
CSS is the best one because Pico CSS just hijacks so many defaults. The only
Yeah.
problem with Pico is you have to write your HTML a certain way at that point, and it's not like super complex, but like Pico uses like grids and headers and footers and articles and things like that, and all of those mean something. So you wind up writing your HTML to style it in a certain way versus just writing HTML to get information on the screen and then styling it
Mhm.
with CSS.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
just making
so can
sure.
we? You're the first person I know of that does like the search, like the back search thing, which is dope.
Oh.
That's dope because some people like they'll just do like Control F or whatever. I use Atuin, and then I just start typing stuff and then let Atuin tell me what I was supposed to type. But that gets me in trouble sometimes because sometimes they'll be like passwords and stuff in there. I will mess it up 10 out
Oh
of 10
no.
times. Jeff is aware. I have messed. Oh, see this already looks better
Wait a
than the
minute.
other one.
Wait a minute. I was not prepared.
This one
Because
this
look
one
at the
cooked.
difference.
This
Look at
one
the
cooked.
material. Look at the material. Okay.
Mm.
I think I have been influenced to use Cloud Code, in the terminal as opposed to in UI because look at the material.
Just look at
This is giving junior dev. This is giving, I've been here for a little bit. I've been here for a
Okay,
little.
I like
I
it.
know my way around.
I I love how even at the top it has like powered by Ivan and LaunchDarkly. Like
Right.
it,
I mean,
it,
it's little things.
it
It's little ornaments I see.
that is one thing that I think AI does better than most human developers that I know, is that they're usually like just touches that can be done that are like, oh, yes, this is good. We should have just done this instead.
I mean, if a human is better, it's because they have super like years of experience, but I
Yeah.
will say I was probably a little bit faster. I will
Yeah.
say that.
I was
Okay, so we're getting a few errors here,
I was gonna
right?
say probably because we don't have these established yet.
No,
So
we do not. We do not. Um, yeah.
can we
So
see
next
where in the
bill.
code that like what those routes look like? Because I'm
Yeah, absolutely.
because I mean for this is all HTMX. So a lot of this is we're doing a route. This route has some code, and then we're just calling that route in HTMX. Um, oh, and Jeff is saying Jeff is in the know. He knows people when it comes to AI. So I'm trying to figure out. Sorry, I'm messing with the space here. It says you have the newer Claude 4.5 than what Jay and I had, and using
Okay.
it's like it's great at design and using Tailwind
Yeah,
and not using Tailwind. Both of them, like using and not using Tailwind.
got you. And I'm trying to figure out, I should be seeing files I'm opening.
Live demo, right? That's the wrong one.
Yeah, it's live demo, but when I press it, let me try this again. See, when I go here, it should,
Oh,
oh, you know what? Well, actually, do I need
I've
a,
not used cursor, so I am not going to be of much help here. But it
what
sounds like
is,
all your files are in another folder though, like a
but the
subfolder.
thing, but when you look at, so like, let's go back here. See,
Yeah, you got
with it,
your.
I should at least see app folder. I should see requirements.txt. But within cursor,
Um,
I'm not seeing the files.
I'm not seeing a file explorer at all.
What is happening?
There it is. There it goes.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so put it on this side. That's interesting. Okay, we'll go with it. That's what threw me off because I'm so used to,
I've
it being on this side. They switch sides. I'm like, don't do that now. All right. Okay, so yes, you wanted to explore which files or which
the
logic.
routers that we have here at the top, right there.
Yes. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Okay, we have AI, our API. Where am I going? Where am I going with this?
I don't know, but your laptop said its battery is low.
Is it? Oh, it is. I'm so glad you caught that because we would have been sitting here like, wait,
You know,
where did where
you'd have
did where did
disconnected.
Alexis go? Right?
You'd have disconnected,
It
and
would
I
have
would
been
have been
like
like,
it's
"We're
not a
here."
code error. It's so my siblings always get on me because they're like, "Girl, how does your phone die and you're at the house?"
Hundred
I'm like,
percent,
I don't know.
100%. I'm right
I don't
there.
know.
I'm right there
I'm
with
living
you.
La Vida Loca for sure. I'm living La Vida Loca for sure. Okay, we're good. Okay, and actually, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger because as I expressed before,
That's
I'm a
okay.
little bit
You're making
behind.
it bigger for me because I clearly need glasses. Is why.
There we go. All right. So we do have our setup here. Now I do see that it created, okay, so is region enabled. Okay. So it's checking to see if these are enabled within, or these feature flags are enabled. I thought that maybe, let me go to feature flags here because I thought that maybe you had each of the feature flags. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how much it's tried to do just within the feature flag stuff.
Yeah.
Um, is the region enabled? Is the feature enabled? Like what? That feels like those are the two same thing. Those are the same things.
Right.
Like, but I didn't give it any. I didn't really give it any guidance on the launch darkly side because I was mostly like
Right.
I
So
was like
that,
I don't know what I don't know what I don't know. So yeah, it's probably just trying to figure out what it's just making up whatever features there are.
yeah. So I need to update this. So it's going through reading the files because I'm like, I could search for this, but I'm like, I actually just I'm curious. And then I also want to look at, so if we go back to, and we can, I'll keep this around because I just like,
Just want a screenshot of like
right,
from
just
worst to
seeing,
first. Like here we go.
right, exactly,
Oh,
exactly. Okay, so I'm trying to see. Okay, so I definitely think it should be a feature flag for each of these. Health checks. These are kind of all okay. You can test all regions. Okay. So I think that there should be, I'm gonna just make note of this. There should be a feature flag to test all regions. Um, there should be a feature flag to test each of the regions.
See, and this is where I was. This is where I was interested in that. Like testing all the regions makes sense because then you
Hmm.
can just show or hide that button in itself. Um,
Yes.
maybe okay. I can see this also being like a you can only test certain regions based on your like SRE level. Like some
Hmm.
SRE, like if you're an SRE and you're only in charge of APAC stuff, like you shouldn't be like turning on and off US regions and things like that. You should only have access to the APAC region. So I could see that, but
Hmm.
I feel like it's more of like you should be able to do all the things within a region versus um just leaving your stuff out. Oh, it's funny because you moved your camera and then like I didn't move mine, so my face was covering up the chat.
Oh, oh.
You're good. I think you've got to unless that's yeah, you got like your presentation like thing covering up a piece of it as well. No, it's on the screen. It's like a oh no, that's me. Is that me? I don't. Am I tripping? Is something on Zoom? Nope, that's it.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah,
Oh, got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
and I can't control your camera window because it just be all over the
Yeah.
place. I'm just trying to get out your way.
No, no, you're good.
So we're just having it add new feature flags for each of
Yeah.
the regions now.
Yes, and to test all regions, and then also a feature flag for health checks, or which one? I'm trying to see which feature. Um, for refresh interval. Okay, let's see what this does. And we can also see changes here. All right, so we see the first changes. Okay, so adding test all, health checks, get refresh interval.
Okay.
And then it also updated. Okay, that. So it looks like it just added it for testing all regions because the individual regions, like that test is already there.
Okay.
And so what I want to do is, or what we can do is once it should list them out by name. Let me see. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, so we have these features here. And so now that it's already referenced within the code, and you can do this like before or after or whatever the case may be, but we're gonna go to Launch Darkly.
This is interesting because it gives me like this vibe that people are developing for Launch Darkly different now than maybe they were a year like a couple of years ago where
100%.
before you were like set up my account because I've played with Launch Darkly like once. It was like set up my project, do all the stuff, and then like set up all the roles and all the feature flags and things. And this way, AI is building out the feature flags kind of in the code first, and then you've got to go and like make it make it accurate,
Yeah.
which is wild.
And two, another thing, and so there's a blog post about this as well, is using the LaunchDarkly MCP server to be able to also create feature flags. So I had that
Mm.
enabled within Cursor, but I really wanted to, I really wanted them to see like, hey, like what you can set up. But because like for instance, here I'll actually do it. I don't know if I should do it here or like because I already have MCP server like enabled, but let me see if
Do
I
you
can
do you have the
go
MCP services enabled for Claude
for
Code?
Cursor. Um, not for Claude Code, but it's enabled within Cursor. So I'm trying to remember where I went. Is it services? Is it Cursor settings? Okay, yeah, Cursor settings, tools, and MCP. And then as you can see, LaunchDarkly is, and this is the only thing that I did. I added in, you know, well, maybe I shouldn't tell that part, but um, but I used my API token,
Make
and
sure you recycle that one.
right. No, I'm gonna have to. I'm like that was probably not the best
That's
thing to do.
That's I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Don't.
Okay. So, wow. But here's the thing. So, I just created this new project, live demo.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to take the name of this project. And here's the cool thing about it. I can go within LaunchDarkly and create these feature flags. But I'll say, can you create? I'm trying to think. Do I have to use a different? No, no, no. This is enable. Okay. Can you create these feature flags? Can I spell today?
You
In
know,
lunch darkly. Right.
it's
I'm
still the
computer
hardest part of
science.
development.
Right. Listen, I just do computer science. I know how to spell. Okay, can you create these feature flags in lunch
So my
darkly?
degree is not in
Um,
English.
it's not, it actually is not under. Okay. Let's see if it does it. Uh, let's see if it does it. I'm curious. I love how when you're doing live demos and that's when it actually
Oh,
wants to
yeah.
act up. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about. So let's actually see if it does that.
That is, yeah, 100%. Okay. I don't.
Okay, so it's running.
Oh, okay. So now it's just looking for the environment, and then
Yes. Or I guess I probably should have gave it the specific environment, but let's go with it and see what it does. Okay, so it's creating each of these feature flags. So right now, so like enable test all those different things. Okay, so it's giving it, so it says, hey, we created these feature flags within Launch Darkly. Okay, well, let's see if it's telling the truth because it could totally be gaslighting me.
mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, it created all the feature flags, and now all we have to do is toggle them on, you know,
Now, do you have to do like all of them at once? Like, can you do all of them at one time, or do you have to do like one by one?
one by one. But the good thing is you didn't have to create them, I guess.
I'm asking Cursor to do that for me too. Turn them on. Just make sure
Right.
they're all on.
I mean, we can try it. Let's see.
That way you get really solid comments in each one. I probably should have came up with some fake data to throw in there, but while you're doing that, I'll get my Ivan console up and running, and then I'll
Yes.
get a project going, and I'll share the. I cannot make projects in here, can I? Oh well, it'll be fine.
Okay, it's doing something. So let's see.
No, so it says they're all
Oh,
on.
it says they're on. Are they? Are they truly on? Oh. I just figured out. I just found that out. Thanks for asking that question,
But
because they're on.
there we go.
Perfect. Perfecto.
Okay.
Okay. In what environment? Okay, they're in prod. That's totally fine. For now, usually I would create them within dev, but I forgot to specify that within the command or the prompt. Okay. And so I'm going to move this off screen because I'm going to add the LaunchDarkly SDK
Yep.
to this. And then once you get a chance, you like we can set up the Ivan piece
Here, we'll
in.
we'll do this while you're doing that. I will just see. Can I share my screen
Yeah.
alongside of yours? This is the hard part because I got to remember how to do this from within
Okay.
Zoom. Um,
Because
okay.
I'm like, do I need to stop sharing?
Nah, I think we're
No, no, no.
good.
Okay.
I'm
And
gonna.
then just the last thing I'll show while my screen is up is that you'll go to in order to get the SDK key that you need, and it's not going to show it. Let me see. So you go to the project, let's see, live demo, and then under the environment, so it's in prod, you would just copy over your SDK key and add that to your .m file. And after that, you're good to go for setup
Perfect.
for
All
launch
right.
sharkly.
Let's see if I can. Let's see if I did
Oh,
this
and
right.
you know what? Actually, I don't think let me make sure I actually downloaded LaunchDarkly SDK. Because I'm like, we're doing all this work. And if it's not, okay, yeah, it's already installed. Okay. Double checking.
It is not showing my screen at all.
Uh-oh.
So maybe
I can
you do.
stop sharing.
And say maybe you do have to stop sharing before it'll let me jump on.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I stopped sharing.
Either that or I mean I guess I could just do the thing where no because you see my screen?
No,
Okay, so
I get.
Zoom is doing something stupid. Then we will
Okay.
let me find my mouse right there, and then I'm sharing on the smaller screen because there we go. Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Duck, duck, go.
Yeah, you can. The folks can't. So let's.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Now they can. They're good.
Okay,
Um,
perfect.
all right. So let me. Trying to make sure I can add your camera back in.
Yes.
There we go. All right, cool. So I can drive now, and we'll go into. We're going into. I don't think I can actually. Maybe I can. We'll see what happens first.
Okay.
Because this is in like the solution architectures like org, and that is not where I should probably be. But I should probably be like Ivan and like employee playground, and then I can go in here. Now my question is it going to actually let me build out services? Okay, yeah, well, cool. That's all I need to know. I'm just limited to where I can build them if I build them out here. So we'll have to figure it out. AWS US East 1 startup plan, please, because we don't need all that. Yeah, let's just do US East 1. We're gonna create that service. And I'm specifically choosing. I probably should have gave him a better name. Hold on. let's let's fix that. Um, I'm specifically picking the ones that I'm picking because of some of the features that we get with them. So if you're doing, don't look at that. It's not announced yet.
Close my eyes.
Well, that's a
Well,
thing.
hope this isn't recorded.
Don't worry, blog post will be out soon. um, but yeah, let's name this. We'll name this. I don't know, LD feature DB or something like that. And then we'll make sure that it's the right version. We'll go with Postgres 17. Postgres 18 should be actually. Can we do Postgres 18? We're not doing anything fancy, so we can do Postgres 18.
Okay.
Postgres 18's been out for a couple months now, so like it's. I'm not worried about stability. I'm more worried about like, do all the extensions work? I think for what we're doing, all the extensions should work. All right, so we're building out this instance here, and that's great. What we gotta then do is, oh, what's up? Hold on, I see the boss man Corey Weathers in the house. What's up, Corey? Good to see you. Now that we've got this Postgres database building, if we wanted to connect to it once it was ready, it's right there. We could just click on it right there. We were talking about that PG bouncer thing. If we wanted to enable like PG bouncer, it's you'd have to create a connection pool, but that connection pool would be like right there. For what we're doing, we don't need to go into connection pools and add a pool and do all that stuff. Like we can just connect to it directly and it'll be fine. Again, we can have 100 people connected to it simultaneously without worrying about it. If we were doing more than that, we'd need to have a pool going. But the feature that I really wanted us to use is this: not available for services without backups. Well, take a backup. What are you doing? This is because it's still building. But once this is done, we should be able to create a read replica. That said, we're gonna need to get some data in here, and this means I'm gonna need to switch over to my terminal. Which let's just do a new tab, and then we'll do something similar. What did you call yours?
What did I call mine? Let me see.
Like multi-region something, multi-region backups.
Oh, for backups? I don't think I defined backups.
Oh, multi-region database. We'll just do multi-region database. This is fine.
Yeah.
And then we'll CD into that. We'll CD into.
Yeah. I think I went with default DB.
And then from there, I'll tell. This is what I like to do, and since this is for non-production purposes, we'll do an envrc.
Oh, when you said multi, I thought you were talking about the name of the instances. You're talking about my actual file.
Yeah. And then we'll call connection string, and then I'll just copy and paste the connection string in there again. Like we're not breaking anything just yet. So we'll just do that. And then so once this is ready, and we can do like Ivan CLI to have it wait. Was it Ivan CLI service wait? Is that what it's called? It is. Okay, cool. Ivan service wait, and then I just need the service name, which is that. And what we should get. What do you mean the service doesn't exist? Ivan project view. Ivan project get, is that it? Or details. I'll make sure it's on the right one. It is not. Okay, so how do I do that again? I'm trying to remember how to do this because I have multiple services, and now I'm like, how do I make sure I'm connected to this service?
Yeah.
Or is it? Billing group, is that what it is? I'm also just giving this time to load, so when it's done we can just go.
Yeah. But I really, when I was testing this out, I really liked how, sort of like straightforward it is, or like how it abstracted the sort of setup piece.
This part is harder for me than it is for most people, because most people are a part of one billing group. They'll have one project, and meanwhile, I've got like 100 projects, 5 different billing groups I gotta switch between, and every time I do it, it's that equally confusing. Which, I mean, coming in here to like Quick Connect, it'll tell you exactly how you would connect to the database. The problem with this is it doesn't know what service I'm on, so I gotta change my billing group, and I gotta make sure it knows. Get a project list, update a billing group. That's not it. I'm about to just make this in another service and be like, well, we're gonna put it, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. Is this running? It is running. Cool. Let's do this. Hey, Claude. Yeah, you're good. I trust you. Generate an example table of, I don't know, sports teams. We'll do baseball teams. Why not? Shout out to all the baseball teams. I probably should have told it to also do that in like SQL. Okay, cool. Yep. Okay. There we go. So now I can just do PG. Oh, I'm gonna do PSQL actually. PSQL is the thing. I'm gonna connect to my connection string that I made that has our stuff in there. I'm gonna point to a file and I'm gonna say baseballteams.sql. Boom, there we're there. So now if we do PSQL connection string, we're in this service.
Okay, perfect.
We're on Postgres 18.1. It's yelling at me because it's like, hey, your PSQL is 17, but you're connecting to an 18 service. We can actually come in here and see. We can see these inserts. Insert into baseball teams right here. So we know that data is now here. All of that work was specifically so that we can make sure. I'm trying to make sure the chat window's up because people in there were chatting and I was just in there ignoring them as I do. I don't see my chat window, so y'all gonna get ignored even more right now because
I wish there was a way that we both could have seen the
so there kind of is, but I am bad at this. So
we're growing, next time
we're learning.
We're learning. So we can look this up on Claude to say, hey, how do you allow for both people to see the chat?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be able to set this up so that you can actively go in and see your. Oh, here it is. Here's a button. Okay, we're good. Where you can see, pay attention to us instead, Jay. No, Mike, that's not the point. Yeah, I can so there's a way that you can pipe these into Zoom, and then like people in Zoom can see that, and then you can put comments in Zoom, and then I can put the comments in Zoom up on the screen and whatever. Okay, so we've inserted this stuff in. All of that work was so important that we do, because now we should have a backup. We have a backup. That's good. Okay. Now with this feature, we want to have separate versions. So we had US East 1. I could create another database and then like try to do some weird mirroring thing, but instead I could just use read replicas and say create a replica. And I can tell that replica, hey, I want you to live over here. Where was our other region?
It was Europe, it was Asian Pacific, and it was those two. Okay,
so we'll throw one in Ireland because, why not? I also don't know how much these cost. Okay, cool. We're doing good. These are monthly. They'll live. I also should have named it because now we've got one with a good name and one with not a good name. We'll do replica. Actually, what? We'll just do another one. Replica EU West 1. Boom. Do that. And then we can do another one. We'll say replica APAC 1. Something like that. And then we can just do Asia Pacific. AP Hong Kong sounds fine. Yeah. So like that, now we have 4. We're going to get rid of this one because naming is bad. So now we've got 3 of these services that are now building out, and they're going to just stay in sync automatically. Like, we don't have to do anything. So now if we connected to one of those, once it's up and running, we could just check it real quick. We should have the same data in it that we had in the other ones.
Okay.
All right. So do you need these? You need these names, right? Or you need the connection strings?
Yes, I need the connection strings.
Okay. I'm going to open up the Zoom window and I will send. Nope, that's not the right Zoom window. Open up the other Zoom window. Okay, it's just not. It does not want to mess with me today. Other Zoom window. Where are you? So what are you talking about? You've got all the Zoom right there.
All the Zoom you need.
Oh, I'm over here looking at my Zoom is drunk right now because it's trying to. It's like, but you're in Zoom. Like, you're sharing your Zoom screen right now. You don't need to find the other Zoom window. And it's like, but I implore you, I actually do. And I need to just find the chat. Thank you, chat button. There we go.
All right.
All right. So there's one. That is US East. Also, if chat's seeing that, I'm sorry. It's fine. These are gonna get deleted shortly. Well, they'll get deleted in like a week. And then,
so you got a week.
Yeah, you got a week to use this $110 worth of services.
Right.
So that one was APAC. The first one I sent you was APAC. The second one I sent you was EU West. And then the third one that I'm sending you right now is the first one. Is the primary. So like now we can take all of that and immediately go in and say like, all right, cool, configure that. You should probably be driving now because you gotta copy this stuff in.
Yes. So
I'll let you copy those in and then I'll I'll let you run it.
Yeah, because I'm like, at this point I'm showing all the secrets.
Hey, that is to me the hardest part of streaming is that I have leaked so many keys and had to immediately just been like, well, luckily, I mean, I can share this. This is pretty easy. On Ivan, changing your key or changing like your password is as simple as like, what was it? I think I can just go in here and just change it. I don't think I have to actually do much.
Okay. So let me share my screen.
Oh, users. Yeah, just go into users here, and then I go to reset credentials, and then I'm done.
Oh, see, okay, well, there we go.
So that's not the end of the world if I make that mistake. But you're all set now?
Yes, all set. And let me make sure it's running.
Okay. You have to share you are sharing your screen again, so I can.
Yes.
This is where I need a producer to do all this for me.
Oh, this is confusing. Let me remove this. Okay. Okay, so immediately I see that, we see like how long they've been running instead of just not connected. But I'm seeing, so we're still getting an error
They're still
for,
building.
oh, okay,
One of
got
them
you.
was still
Okay.
building. I can
Okay.
tell you it should be done soon.
Well, do you want to test out the feature or like here out since this one's ready, if we test connection, we can see it. This actually even looks better than the tailwind. I'm like, this it's way better. Okay, so if we went to, let's see, launch darkly, flags here, and let's which one is this? Okay, let me go back.
That APAC one is it's not having a good time right now, but it's
US East.
rebuilding.
Okay. All right, so US East, if I toggle this off, review and save. Yeah, and it wants me to confirm because usually this is not in production, but for now it is. So I toggled it off. And so now if I test connection, you see region unavailable.
Okay. So
So
this is
that's work.
this is just straight up removing access to the ability to ping that service.
Yep, like the code logic, all the way down to the code logic, that portion is being disabled.
Okay.
Yeah, our application logic.
APAC should be running now. You should be able to test it.
Okay, let's see. Still failing, and it is still coming back as an error. I'm going to here,
Maybe.
I'll stop sharing and just make sure that the URL, the endpoint that I use is correct. Should be,
Oh, we'll send it to you again just in case.
yeah, looks correct.
Oh, I just noticed something. And
What's
that
that?
makes sense. Like your all of your credentials are the same across the services.
Mhm.
Which makes sense because it's like you're if you had users that had to authenticate in, like they would need all of their stuff too for that to work.
Yeah. Okay,
That
let me
makes a ton of
share
sense.
again. Okay.
Okay, there
Huh.
we go. It's working now.
Okay.
I don't see
I
that
see.
that first region's gone. What happened to that first what
That's what I'm
happened to
saying. I don't,
primary?
what happened? It
It
literally,
looks better, but AI is just like nah. Is it because of the did we turn it off?
wait. I mean, it's toggled off, but it still should be showing up,
Did you
right?
maybe
Yeah, because we should be able to test the connection. Hold on. Let me,
what does the code say on it? Because
right. Let me see.
the code might be like, hey, if it when it's established, if it doesn't exist, don't make the portal for it. Which I could see. Like again, like I think that what's really intriguing to me about Launch Darkly is that you can probably do some design decision
Mhm.
based on that. So like you could possibly take you could possibly say like, hey, like my website looks like this, and for people who or just when I turn this feature off, this component just does not exist.
Yeah, the thing is, we want it to exist because in order to test the connection to see whether it's live or not, we actually need that
We
actual card,
yeah, we
in
actually need it.
so, so I'm like, what is happening?
You stopped sharing your screen, by the way.
I did because
Okay.
I wanted to check to see if the URL was the endpoint was fine. And it's still going. Okay. So,
Mm.
but here's the thing. It's like I'm not getting any 404 errors, but I'm also not seeing. Okay. So this is where I kind of, and then again, I show
Show
them.
all the things.
We did all of that for me to show them all over again.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
Um, let's do this.
Interesting. You're doing the like, yo, look at this image. Tell me what's wrong here.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Ab-
I don't do that. I don't think I've ever considered just like I literally have a blog post coming out tomorrow and I use
mhm,
Claude to make an infographic and there were just
mhm.
like so many times where it was wrong and I could have just taken a screenshot and been like, fix it.
I've done that. I've definitely done that more than a few times. More than a few. So, but let's see. It may act up while we're on here.
Mm.
Let's see. I meant to say card, but whatever. Let's see what it says.
Run get feature flag. I bet there's some code in there that's just like don't even load the window. Let's say it's on in test but off in production.
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
So we added a new feature that we probably should not have added.
Okay, let's see. Okay, there it
I
is.
mean,
What?
I mean, is it a feature or is it a bug? Like,
At this point, I think the lines are being blurred right now. But we have US East back. That's awesome. And if we test connection for Europe and for Asia, perfect. And then let's say we wanted to test all the regions at the same time. Okay, we're seeing that connected.
ooh, look at that!
Perfect.
Look at that rank. Like they got it ranked out. That's
Right. It's T. It's T for sure. Okay, so now if we toggle this feature
I
off
don't know if you
again.
want to toggle that off. Is there another feature that's like just disable the metrics?
Let me go to the different yes, leave page. Okay, so enable health checks. We can disable that. Do you want to test that?
Yeah, let's try that with different.
Okay.
Let's see what
Oh, it
happens.
created it in both. So
Interesting.
I'm gonna toggle them off in both places. But the feature flag should, I guess because I didn't specify which region, which environment, it created the feature flag in both environments.
Mm,
Next time I need to specify like, hey, only in this, only in tests, or only in dev. So
mm.
that's why disable health check and test. That I think that's why we were getting that issue. Okay, so now when we go back here, okay, let's see. Health checks, it just shows disabled.
Okay, so is it?
Whereas there was,
So what happens if you do test all regions?
let's see.
Like, what is it testing at that point? It's testing that it's connected, but it's. I'm guessing the health checks themselves are probably something different.
Okay. Because the thing is, okay, so if we test them individually, yeah, we're still getting data and then testing our regions. So I guess it's just testing for like latency and the IP. I wonder what measure latency, what that looks like. Okay, latency test, connection there.
I like that it's able to do that for both, you know,
Hmm.
and then like,
Same. And then for if we go back here, we can toggle them on, but I actually want to also test out. Let's say we can disable refresh. Wait, is that a feature still? Refresh?
I don't know if the refresh was
I don't
saved.
think that feature was added because it was added to the other because like if you look back at here at the old sort of dashboard, um, refresh was here and you were able to like disable it. But let me get rid of that.
One of the things that I want to do, see if you can get it to connect and add do like a sample query across all of the databases just to show that they're in sync. Like this will definitely be a prompt. Um, hey, can you add like in the health steps a sample section where it loads data from each of the databases? Because it could be even like, I mean, it could probably do like how many teams are there or how much data is in there. I was trying to get it to run PG stat statements.
Hmm.
PG stat statements are like if people don't know, if you're like, how do I figure out how to optimize my database?
Hmm.
PG stat statements is the answer to begin that process. It
Okay.
gives you so much information. Um, and I was gonna see if we could get it to include some stat statements into our screen. That way we can look and see like, all right, is it? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of like how to,
How to phrase it?
not even how to phrase it, but like how would it be helpful for an end user where like
Mm-hmm.
the PG stat statements are going to be the same roughly across the three devices because they're all the same device.
Hmm.
So like all of them are the same level, all of them have the same performance levels and things like that. So the amount of pressure that you're putting on the database side is identical. So like I
Hmm.
guess in theory I could increase, like I could change one of the tiers to be one that's like better than the other.
Right.
Um Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Um Better than allowing a random SQL command. Yes. Um Mike,
And
were you asking a question on that or did I read that wrong?
well, I'm more so you're saying that do you still want to add that feature in? Because I was actually going to
Yeah,
prompt it to say, okay.
let's add health, like let's add sample data just to verify that all of the like databases are in sync. Um but then also let's pull some data from PG stat statements. My thoughts here are Ivan supports PG stat statements. I don't know if it's enabled by default. So I'm
Okay.
like trying to find that, but also again like doesn't really matter if all of the services are equal. Um,
Hmm.
but I can go to maybe EU West. Can I change plan really quick?
Hmm.
Uh,
Just let me know when you want me to execute this, or if you're still thinking
oh,
through
you
that
can go ahead.
question.
Go ahead and execute it. Like I think
Okay, let's
that'll.
see it. Let's see how it interprets what you're saying.
It does not want me to. I guess because it's already set up as an integration, it does not want me to go in and muck about one of the replicas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create another one. This is this is where I get an email. It's like, hey man, so you just added like $500 in Postgres databases for like a live stream thing. Can you go back and undo that? I'll just turn them off while we're not using them. Create replica. Let's make this one North America. Um, is there a central? There isn't a U.S. central in AWS that I can use. Let's use U.S. West, Northern California. Why not? And then we'll increase the plan. We'll go to that one. Oh, that one doesn't change any. All it changes is the. Well, no, this one changes the RAM. The RAM and the CPU. Well, the CPUs are the same. Is that all I can do? That's all I can do.
Okay, now it's updating the UI with these changes for the verification.
And then I'm gonna send you in Zoom. There's a fourth service. You should tell it. I was gonna say, I wonder if you should tell it to just enable a feature to where you could add services on the fly and delete services.
That's an option for sure. That's an option for sure. And then too, we have for our next stream, we have, I guess we're a lot of time, or for most of it, we're going to focus on adding new features and sort of making this better. So I think that that would be something to add to queue for sure.
Yeah, we'll save that for the next stream then. Idea. Oh, we got some ideas. Ask Claude about a command with generate series to generate some random data. That was one of the things that I was thinking about was like, I did have it. Oh, you're saying to have it to where you push a button and then it adds data. Yeah, that's interesting. I think for that we'd have to make sure that it knows that there's only one database that's the primary. Because otherwise it could try to write to a read replica and that's not going to work.
I think my computer is earning its keep. It's like running hot now. It's like
it's like
I'm working so hard right now.
Oh, you no clue. I almost burned through my prompts for the day. And like they reset at 1. So I was looking, I was like, ooh, I can't do a lot more because if I do more, like all of a sudden we got to do something and it's like you're out of tokens. I was gonna be like, ooh, I guess we're gonna ask chat to donate $200 for Max.
Okay, let me see. So it says feature sample that AutoMake creates and maintains 3 test records in each database. Sync verification.
It creates and maintains. It's not going to be able to create those records.
Yeah, so it looks like we can undo these changes.
Yeah, we should probably.
Because it went rogue a little bit.
PG stat statement integration shows top queries with performance mentions if the extension is enabled. And this is where, like, for me, I'm all about Claude Code because I would have been like, hey, Claude, my connection string to my primary is in the ENVRC. I would normally not show that to you, but since this is all dummy data anyway, like, go ahead and make this happen because.
Yeah. I mean, we can certainly switch over to Claude Code.
Oh no, I'm learning how other people build with AI. I can't tease future episodes, but I can say there will be an episode in January where I have not one guest, but 2. Okay. And both of them work for AI companies. So it's like we're gonna learn how AI companies use AI. So I'm excited for that.
I'm gonna have to tune into that for sure.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just right now just undoing those recent changes.
That's why. Did you just like type in just like undo all that?
Yeah, I did. I do that all the time. I'm like, ma'am, Miss Ma'am, you're not doing exactly what I need you to do. So just undo that.
I thought,
and as you can see, it's undoing it.
I thought it was just a button. I was like, oh, I thought just press a button and just undoes everything. I was like, that's actually a feature. Like,
right. So now it told me, so it said, yep, I reverted the recent changes. I removed, so everything that it added, the health metrics, Yep, all of that. So
Just I would say maybe just try to have it do the PG stat statements and like that's it.
okay. So give me a gist of the command.
um I think they had something in there just like can you retrieve PG stat statements from each of the services? It'll know what you're
Statements.
talking. Yeah, statements. It'll know what you're talking about.
Got you.
That's interesting. Get health. So it put it all in get health metrics. Also, by the way, I think we disabled get health metrics, so we should probably turn that back on.
Yeah, we have to add that back.
We want to see that. And I'd be telling Cursor to do that right real quick. Like, hey, can you turn on those health statements again?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll make sure to let it know in the test and production environment.
And actually, what
Okay,
I
so I
can
think
then
we
do
just say-
is I'm gonna copy these from chat, and I'm gonna load them up in our side,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna just tell Claude to create a generator that just starts hammering, just go and query this stuff. Um,
Okay. Features automatic detection, checks that PG statements are enabled. Color metric, check table. All right, let's see.
it didn't turn on the health checks yet.
Oh, yeah, let me actually, I need to put that in there.
Okay, so I'm gonna say.
And I'm still not spelling these things right. Okay. All right, I'm just going to verify that it is on. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so health checks are enabled, but I'm not. Oh, I see. I see. Let's go back to health checks. Okay, health check failed.
Okay, I know that that isn't. I know what that problem is. That is purely that apparently PG stat statements are not turned on, and I can fix that.
Okay, perfect.
So that's
But the cool thing is that they added it. Like that's super cool.
primary connection string is what I called that. All right, so I will jump over to my screen. Boom, there we go. We see stuff happening there. You can't see it though. How do I?
Oh, but you figured out how to do it for us to both share, but you can just jump over to different screen.
I'm sharing directly through Ecamm, but that means I don't think you can see it in Zoom, and that's why I'm trying to find the meeting window so I can. There we go. So I can just hit share.
Okay.
Share. Can you see it now? in
You talking
Zoom?
to me?
Can you see my screen in Zoom now?
No. I probably need to stop sharing.
Mm.
Oh wait, are you on feature flags?
No, I'm
No. Okay.
no, I'm just in a terminal window.
Okay, so I stopped sharing.
Okay, so I want to do PSQL. Oh, let me redo this. Stop sharing and then share again. There we go. There we go. Now it says you can see it. Okay, so let me go find this really quick. Give me the docs. Give me the docs. Thank you. It's like they know. It's like they know me. Use PG stat statements. Yeah, I gotta enable this. But what I'm wondering is if I enable it on one, will it enable it on all the others? Now try to run it and see what yours did. Because if I just do dash PG stat statements now, I will get a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
and a lot of that is just a bunch of different. Like, oh, now you have like all of these different commands that get added that you can now check for.
mm-hmm.
And what I was going to do is I was actually going to create a locus file over here
Mm-hmm.
that is just building stuff out. I should have told it to use UV. Like, just.
So it is. So it is still saying that the health check is failed with the same error. So I'm thinking,
Why can't I hit the button? There we go. Function round double precision integer does not exist. I would put that in there and just be like, hey, what? Because that feels like it's doing something that it's not supposed to.
yeah. Oh, wait, I went too fast. Went too fast. Oh, wait, I'm about to start thinking. I'm acting like I'm by myself here. Okay. Right. Tell us what um
I like that. Here's an error. Tell me what this means.
and if cursor can't figure it out, then I typically the final boss is going back to Claude.
Cursor's like, I don't know. And like, Claude, come in here.
Right. I'm like, I got your competition on the phone. So it between those two, it figures it out. Okay, so round type
It's looking for
mismatch.
blocks. Okay, so it's looking for blocking code, the number of code. So Postgres has this concept of like blocking tasks, which
Okay.
whenever you would run a query, it would be like, hey, you did this thing that basically prevented all other Postgres work from happening.
Uh-huh.
That's not good. Don't do that. But sometimes it's required. So it's saying that like for some reason, whatever value it got, it can't do that. Like it's broken in some way.
Yeah.
I'm having my load testing machine
Oh,
is
there we go.
there we go. Okay, so yeah, you can see now. Oh, you don't
It's
have
telling me
privileges
that
for.
what?
It's saying that you don't have the privileges to
Oh,
have it query
it
out.
won't let us read.
Yeah, just tell it to have it filter out any results that return with insufficient privilege.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's always fun. Oh, oh,
What?
Claude Claude is meaning business now. It's
What
like
happened?
it's like, oh, I told it to create a bunch of baseball team data, and now it's like, oh, I got you. And now it's generating fake game data, but also creating multiple tables for players and like other stuff. I'm like, oh, you weren't. I was just saying, add a little bit to make it feel realistic, and you've added a lot. I'm wondering how it's going to read that, because what it's going to do is it's going to give you results. It's just the results themselves will just say insufficient privilege.
Hmm. And just a heads up on time, we are at that 3 o'clock mark.
Oh yeah, we are past that 3 o'clock mark. We can, if you want to stop here, which I am perfectly okay with doing that as well. We
Hmm.
can stop here, and then we can kind of take a second to plan on what we're gonna do in the next ones.
Okay. Sure, sure, sure. But this is definitely way better than where we started.
Awesome. Well, hey, chat, y'all have been great. This has been fun. Shout out to the folks who joined us. We are. Let me. How do I do this? I forgot how to. Nope, that doesn't help. That ain't great either. Um, who knows? Streaming is hard, y'all. Like, if we haven't made that abundantly clear, streaming is hard. I'm trying to. Why would you? Why would you do that? Why would you not? You know what? We're gonna roll with this. I'm gonna try to make this bigger if I can. I cannot. So with that said, Alexis, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Um, we're gonna do this again tomorrow.
Yep.
That's wild. I was like, I don't even. I was gonna say I will see you when I see you. No, I will see you tomorrow
Right
when we do
now,
this again.
we got
Um,
like a 2 or 3 commitment here.
yeah.
Session
So
here.
same time, same
Yep.
channel.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we are going to look at adding some features. We are going to play around with some of the Postgres stuff. We're going to play around with some of the LaunchDarkly stuff. I think
Yeah.
by the end of this, we are going to have a very fun little project, and hopefully, we will have learned a few things. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, chat, y'all been awesome. We will see y'all later.